Hello tanks and tankettes, welcome to a viewer replay, and today we're looking at this monster, the tier 8 Japanese heavy tank, the Oho. I look at this thing and I look at the name and I think Jabba the Hutt, because you know Jabba had that laugh, that laugh. So is that just me? Is that just me that looks at this and thinks Jabba the Hutt? Because it's a big tank, you know. I don't know. Maybe that is just me. Maybe that's just my brain. Anyway, this is Cricketwes. He's circling, actually in the Cirque clan itself. Not as good as the Cirque 2 clan, but you know, we don't like to judge on this channel. And I'm going to guess he doesn't have a lot that's upgraded. I don't actually know the module progression beyond the engines for the Japanese heavy line, because you unlock at tier 5 a... is it 1,000 horsepower, 1,200 horsepower engine? I should know. I've unlocked it myself. But basically you then carry that same engine through all the way up to at least tier 8, if not tier 9. So as you're getting more armour, as you're getting more weight on the tanks, as you're going up the tiers, they're getting progressively less mobile. And as you can see, this thing, yeah. The tier 5 is pretty light on its feet considering its size, and it has okay-ish armour for its tier, but not particularly great armour. This thing does have decent armour when it's top tier, but even so, there's still plenty of stuff that can hurt it, and you've paid for that extra armour with much less mobility. Now, I say it has okay armour when it's top tier. It's really only when you're facing lower tiers and maybe some same tier low pen guns, because the 200mm plate is not especially sloped for the most part. So if you've got over 200 average pen, you're probably going to be able to pen this thing fairly easily. The other thing I'll point out is that he's using the derp gun. He doesn't have the top gun, 100mm. And this was actually his very first battle in this. So it's his first battle, it's a derp gun, it's Himmelsdorf and he's top tier, so those are both really good. But just on the basis of the fact that it's a derp gun game, you can guess that this is not maybe going to be an ultra serious replay. So there we go, his first kill, only for 155 health, and it was an IS, and okay. Actually, it wasn't even 155 because he rammed the guy for 70, so that was me not quite paying attention. Anyway, so he's taking a little bit of damage now, but he's pressing on. He's doing what you should be doing in a top tier heavy, but unfortunately he's getting shot from the back as well, so he's got to be careful here. And there's also artillery to maybe worry about. So he takes out that IS with nearly 400 damage, but oh, that's painful. Okay, so in the space of, I don't even know, 30 seconds, he's lost over 1,000 hit points, and he's had to use both his repair kit and his med kit. So that was a little bit ouchy. They have won the hill, however, but that was awfully close to killing that CDC. They've got a Carnarvon coming up behind them. They have a couple of allies up in the northwest corner who aren't going to last much longer. They're basically encircled. And as for all these tanks that are on the hill, well, a lot of them aren't looking particularly healthy at this point. In fact, I think it might only be the T-44 that's below them that's got really any health left at all. So the derp gun, I mean, this is basically, with this kind of armour, we're looking at KV4 right now, it's kind of a slightly better armoured KV4, but with the armament of a KV2. Can you imagine driving around in a KV4 if you had the option of the KV2 gun? I mean, I'd do it, that'd be hilarious. And that kind of seems like what the Oho is, the Jabba the Hutt tank. It is, it's Jabba, it is. Anyway, the Carnarvons come up right behind them, and that's a dangerous opponent because he has got his top 20-pounder, or he's got a 20-pounder anyway. He might actually have the stock A barrel, which is, in terms of pen and damage, identical to the B barrel, but it's, you know, gun handling and soft stats and all that are different. Anyway, so he's managed to get his front round on this guy, and although he can be hulled down, this Carnarvon, that actually doesn't matter when you've got a derp gun. So, into the lower front plate, nice 648. I can't tell if that was a penning HE shot or not, but I don't actually know what the HE damage on this gun is, you know, the penetration damage rolls, so it might actually have been a penetrating hit. It might have just been a low roll with a penetrating hit. Anyway, one into the turret, because, you know, it's a derp gun, that was almost certainly going to kill the guy. They are being capped, they're down to 3 tanks, and as you can see, the T-44's got some health left, in fact he's got almost all of his health left. Tiger 2's nearly dead, and Cricketwes himself is also not doing so well. He has accumulated some damage though. There aren't any enemy heavies left, and of the two of the 3 top tiers remaining, in fact now only 2 of the top tiers remaining because the Tiger 2 just killed the arty, are Rheinmetals. And he's got a derp gun. Oh yes, this could be very nice indeed. So one of the Rhymotools gets taken out. The other one, however, is still full health. And, ooh, okay, well we know what gun he's got. He doesn't have the big derpy gun, which I have temporarily forgotten which one that is. 15 centimeter. And so, I mean, not that it matters, it would kill Cricketwes either way, but it means he's got a quicker reload than he would have with the 15 centimeter. Anyway, the guy presses up because he's like, oh, it's fine. But, yeah, no, I would say that would be a derp to the face in a Rhymotool. Yes, that's always fun. Now, T-3485 has come up behind them, and that was actually some good flanking there. I mean, they knew where the last couple of tanks were, so he came up behind. And I think at this point, Cricketwes' thoughts were, I must go and decap. But this T-44 is running a bit low on health, and the T-20's just turned up as well, so we know it must be the Rudy that is capping at the moment. Now, you saw him at the beginning wiggling his gun around, and that's because at the front of a lot of these Japanese heavies, the gun depression is actually terrible, because they've got those mini turrets on the front, and that really severely affects how much gun depression you can have. Slightly to the sides, you can have much more gun depression, but there's a couple of them where you actually have gun elevation over areas of the front. So it came down to a 2 health T-44 versus a 1 health T-3485. There was obviously some serious RNG going on with those shots, you know, people cussing, but as it was, well, the T-44 died and the T-3485 got booped by the derp, and it is now just down to the Rudy. Now you'd think an HE shell, maybe. I mean, 68 health, the 85mm HE shells might not pack enough punch, and the guy is trying to get around him, and Cricketwes can see that, but no, he was just firing AP, and his AP against the front of this thing, like I said, it's very good against lower tiers, that 200mm of armor, but once you start meeting same and higher tiers, yeah. So I promised you it was going to be a silly derpy match, and it was a silly derpy match, and there you go, you can see the result. An ace mastery in his very first game, steel wall, top gun, he had a Spartan, he had, I think, a high caliber out of that. Top of the team, nearly 5,000 damage done, 7 kills, nearly 1,700 base XP. So, you know, for a first game with a stock derp gun, I think that was alright. It was a bit on the silly side. I don't know what you could especially take away from that in terms of gameplay, you know, information about the OHO, but it was, I don't know, I just watched that and I thought, okay, that was entertaining enough to put up on the channel, and I hope you think so too. So I know this one was a little bit short, but I streamed earlier today and I was on Circon stream for a bit, so I've had less time to do a video, but I still wanted to do a video. So here you go, hopefully you enjoyed it, and if you did, you can leave any comments below, you can hit that like button, you can subscribe to my channel, and as always, stay tuned for more.